royalty. I cast my crown before the highest royalty. So there is a meeting point where businessmen, apostles, prophets, teachers, are we together? Professors, presidents, governments, heads of corporations, billionaires in all kinds of currency. There is a central point of convergence that is before the king. When we come before the king, you don't come as a professor. That's why you take your golden crown. Your crown defines your jurisdiction of dominion. You take it because it does not matter again. When you are before the king, you cannot be a king. Are we together? So you are a king in the judiciary. You are a king in business. You are a king even in the practice of priesthood. But when we stand before him, I don't want to know who you are again. There is only one that commands our attention. So we cast our crowns before. Hold on. Your first assignment is to have a crown. Your real worship is not your falling down. Your real worship is that your crown worships first. So by the time you stand before him without a crown, he says, what happened? I said you are kings. Where is the crown for being an influential person in the judiciary? There's nothing to cast. Esther, where is your crown? The anointing didn't come for you to heal the sick. It came to take you to the palace. Esther, there is a roll call of worship in heaven. I do not see the crown of Esther. So when we stand to worship him, Elijah stands with his prophetic crown. Daniel stands with his governmental crown. Joseph stands with his economic crown. Are we together? Ruth, Naomi, all of them. And together we cast our crowns before. Now you understand the song. The highest royalty. I am undone before your glorious majesty. He's the King of kings and Lord of lords. You are the King of kings. Listen, you understand the song now? When you are getting your crown, it is because one day you will cast it before him. So when you stand before him, you will say, I am a professor. Lord, I did well. I stood to represent your purposes in the educational sector, but I am still a priest. So as Elijah kneels down, the professor kneels too. The doctor kneels too. I have become a consultant surgeon. Through my expertise, I have set up hospitals today. And by the privilege of God's grace, I have advanced the purposes of the kingdom. O king, here is my report. The king bows to the King of kings. That's what Daniel saw. Daniel did not see weak men. Read the vision of Daniel. Daniel saw kings bowing to the king. I look forward to the time in Africa when presidents will take their crown on behalf of their nations and kneel down and say, this is to you, the King of the ages. Not from a standpoint of fanaticism. Let me tell you this, your worship is not complete if your crown is not on the ground. Your worship is not complete if you failed in your assignment to discover the place of your crown. No. If you are a man of God, your assignment is to wait upon God in fasting, prayer, consecration, to build the kind of power. Now God will grant you access to the minds of people and you guide and mentor them. When I worship the Lord, I cast my crown, ministerial crown. That is my jurisdiction. I cast it with honor. If Africa has only business people, we're in trouble. Joseph alone cannot do the job. Daniel alone cannot do the job. If there are only Elijahs and Jeremiahs, we're in trouble. In fact, if Jesus does not have a treasurer and finances, a man who is only having an assignment for 3 years, yet he had regard for finances. Please hear me. The revivals past failed because the individuals who became the frontliner of that revival, they were unilateral in their thinking and they did not capture the other dimensions. You will read about the revivals past and you will hear that when other people rose with other dimensions, the ones who were currently on fought them because they said, it is only the pattern given to me, and it's a mistake that is repeating itself again in Africa. You see, the spirit of the apostolic and the prophetic empowers you to read the writings on the wall so that you can guide God's people holistically. When we challenge the body to be united, we are not saying we should be uniform. No, uniformity is not unity. Unity is a sense of appreciation that Esther plus Elijah plus Jeremiah plus Abraham plus Moses, are we together? Plus Joseph plus Mary plus Joseph of Arimathea, in fact, plus David, it is all of them together that equal Jesus. So if your theology says Elijah equal to Jesus, it is wrong. Elijah equal to a dimension of Jesus, you are right. If your theology says Joseph equal Jesus, you are wrong. Every one of them were manifesting dimensions that were holistically captured in Jesus. You're a man of God here. We need to trust God for grace to return back and check our mentorship structure. But I can tell you, the fire of a revival is brewing. I have said this for many years. I have seen it many times in my visions, and it is consistent with God's end-time prophetic blueprint for the nation. There are many young people who are rising, but the only ones who are celebrating right now are preachers. That means it will make other people who are not in the preaching dimension to feel that they are not part of it. Now, the same way there are young men and women rising apostolically and prophetically in Nigeria, you will start seeing a parallel in the business line. You write it down. You will see young men who will arise, people who will be summoned by the economic powers of the land to vex them and say, by what technology are you accessing the riches of the earth? And they will be as spiritual. And you are going to see people who will rise up supposedly from nowhere. Are we together now? And elections in their various places, their various regions, world level, they will win it with a landslide victory, to the point that you will say, but it looks like we are rewriting politics, because the hand of God is the one behind what we are seeing. Oh,